Hi, and welcome to the Drop Sight tutorial. You might want to open your game to get a closer look as we teach you to play. Drop Sight was the winner of Best Card Game at the 2010 Premio Archimede Game Design Competition in Italy. Drop Sight is a game for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. It only takes about 20 to 40 minutes to play, and we will teach you to play in less than 5 minutes. Contents include the pack of cards and the rulebook. To win the game, be the first player to 100 points. You score points at the end of each round by matching cards you hide away with cards that are face up on the middle of the table. To set up, deal 5 cards to each player. This is your hand.
Place the deck face down in the middle of the table and turn one card face up next to it. This is the first drop sight. You will be playing cards on top of these drop sights throughout the game. Take a moment to look closely at one of the cards. The most important number is the small yellow number in the upper left corner. It indicates the card's value. This card, as you can see, is a 10. You can also see this number written in English at the top of the card. During the game, this is the number you'll be trying to match. The big blue number in the middle of the card is used for scoring. This number indicates the amount of points you score if you're able to match the small yellow number. As you can see, if you can match the 10, it is worth 7 points.
On your turn, you may do one of 3 things. First, you may play a card on an existing drop sight. To play a card on a drop sight, it must be lower in value than the card beneath it. Remember to look at the small yellow number. In this example, we are playing the 5 on the 7. We could have played any card from 6 to 0 on the 7. It just has to be lower. Instead of playing on an existing drop sight, you may start a new drop sight. To start a new drop sight, just play any card face up in the empty space next to an existing drop sight. It does not matter how high or low the card is, but consider that if you play a higher card, players will have more opportunity to cover it with lower cards as the game progresses. The third and final option you have on your turn is to hide a card in your deck pile. Your deck pile is a pile of face-down cards in front of you. At the end of the round, you will score points for every card in your deck that matches the top card of a drop sight. You may not look at any cards you put in your deck pile until the end. So remember, on your turn you can do one of 3 things. Play on an existing drop sight, start a new drop sight, or hide a card in your deck. The last thing you do on your turn is draw a card to bring your hand back to 5 cards. After you've drawn a card, your turn is over.
A 0 card has special rules. If you play a 0 on a drop sight, turn that drop sight on its side. This represents an aid shipment that has reached the ground. Future drop sights can be started on top of this 0 as if it were an empty space. If you start a new drop sight on top of a 0, be careful to not cover it up completely. At the end of the round, both the 0 beneath and the top card of the drop sight above it can be matched for points. A round ends immediately as soon as the last drop sight has been made. In a 2-player game, the round ends immediately when the 5th drop sight is played. In a 3-player game, as soon as the 6th drop sight is made. And in a 4-player game, as soon as the 7th is made.
When the round ends, all players reveal the cards in their deck pile. See which cards in your deck match the top card of a drop sight. Each of these matches will score points. Remember, the small yellow number is a number that matches. The blue number shows what points you score if you make a match. If you have a card in your deck that does not match the top of any drop sight, it is worth -2 points. In this example, player 1 has a 0, a 9, and a 2 in her deck. Each of these match the top card of a drop sight in the middle of the table. So player 1 scores a blue number on each card, 3 plus 4 plus 6 for 13 points. Player 2, however, has an 11 and a 6 in his deck. The 6 matches 2 piles for 5 points each, but the 11 does not match any drop sight, so it counts as -2 points. Player 2 scores 5 times 2, -2, or 8 points total.
Write down your scores on a piece of paper, shuffle all the cards, and start a new round. The first player to reach 100 points wins. If 2 or more players reach 100 in the same round, the player with the most total points wins. Thank you for watching this drop sight video tutorial. Use the coupon displayed on the screen at checkout for 10% off your next order. And don't forget to teach drop sight to a friend.